Coach, congratulations again on the big win Saturday night, 28-13 over North Carolina A&T. If you could just open up with some thoughts on that contest.
Oh man, it was an outstanding weekend. I thought Duke Mayo did a great job of sponsoring the classic, and I thought it was first class. Everything was smooth from the time we left Durham to the time we got back home. But hard fought game. We played a great football team in North Carolina A&T, and we knew it was going to be a tough test. But it was good to finally get that monkey off our back after I guess it was 6 years now of not defeating them. But I thought our kids played really hard. I thought we executed, and still got a lot of stuff that we had to clean up. But for the most part, I thought we played a solid game.
And it would have been just as much had you won in Durham. But can you talk about the experience overall for the student athletes, not just in the game, being able to play at an NFL venue, but the other events surrounding it? They had a chance to meet Bubba Wallace, and just give us some thoughts on the overall experience.
Right. We had an opportunity to go to Michael Jordan and those guys' shop over, I think it was Lake Norman, where they build the NASCARs and work on them and design them and all that stuff. And the team did get an opportunity to meet Bubba Wallace and see how that operation goes. And it was something, man. I've never seen that before. And it was just a great experience. And that's, when we recruit our student athletes, that's what we try to tell them is, they're going to get great experiences. They're going to go places they've never been before. And, it's more than just athletics or just education. It's the social aspect of developing our young student athletes. But it was, obviously playing in the Carolina Panthers Stadium was a great opportunity for our student athletes as well. So I can't say enough about the Classic. I've been a part of a lot of big ones, and I thought it was first class.
And we'll open up to questions.
Coach, I'm probably the only one on here that saw you play against Winston-Salem State back in the day. What is that rivalry like now? I know you guys don't play every year, but what's your take on that as the Rams come to Durham?
When I was in school, that was just as big as North Carolina A&T. And I think it kind of, that we were both in the same conference, CIAA. I don't know what the student athletes are kind of dwindled off a little bit because of the change of conference and us being FCS and them being Division II. But I know as far as the fans are concerned, it's still a huge rivalry. And our guys have to understand the importance of this game. Because like last year, they came in ready to roll and they had us on our heels in the fourth quarter, and we had to pull it out late. So we will not underestimate these folks when they come in here. We know they're going to be, ready to roll, and we have to match their intensity.
Coach JB here. Can you speak on the challenges you'll have this week of bringing your guys back down and understanding that it's what happened on Saturday night, how big of a win that was, obviously against your arch rival, and just putting that in the past and moving on to the goals you have, for the season and refocusing for this week? What were the challenges you think you'll face with this roster?
Well, they enjoyed it, obviously, Saturday night on the way back on the bus. We watched film, made corrections, and, they were excited. They were on a high. But at the same time, they know that that's over and done with. That was one game. That was the first thing I told them after we got in the locker room. You look last year, we beat Alcorn and the MEAC SWAC, which everybody thought was a big game, and they wanted to crown us champions. We had a few injuries, and then we ended up second in our conference. So regardless of who we're playing, we're looking to improve every week by week.
Coach, would you like to see this game with Winston-Salem State continue as long as obviously they keep coming to you guys? I mean, it's a good gate, obviously, too, and I know they're Division II, but what's your take on that and keeping this maybe going for a while?
Yeah, I would definitely love to play Winston. I mean, I know we have Fayetteville State here, and I'm all about the rivalries. Fayetteville State is some rivalry as well. I would love to play these schools that were within, an hour radius from us. I think obviously when you look at budget and budget restrictions, obviously that helps. I don't want to go all the way up to New Hampshire again to go play somebody when we could play somebody within our region. And obviously we could help them out with their, travel expenses, and it'll be a payday for them as well. But it'll be good for them, obviously, to play FCS school. It'll be great for us to pack our stadium and let our fans see a traditional rivalry.
If you could, please use the raise hand feature so we're not talking over one another. And I see our first hand raise is from Lawrence Davis from Spectacular Magazine. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Hey, Coach, hope you're doing well today.
I'm well, Lawrence. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I just want to talk a little bit about Winston. I know they're pretty solid on the run game. Have you talked to your team about gap discipline, and how does a game like, playing a team like A&T kind of help prepare you for a team like Winston?
Yeah, you got to stop the run first and foremost. And I thought, we did an outstanding job of that this past weekend. We improved tremendously over the past, this year, over the past 2 years. But, it's about being fundamentally and technically sound. And you have to be, have eye discipline and stay in your gap, whichever, whether it's A gap, B gap, or C gap. So that's going to be huge. And that's where Coach Cord emphasis the most is stopping the run. We don't think people can beat us in the air passing the ball. Obviously, last week in A&T did have quite a few yards in the air passing, but that was late after we shut down their rushing attack. So we had to try to make teams one-dimensional, take away the run, and make them pass the ball.
Awesome. Thank you.
Up next is Chris Clark. Go ahead, Chris.
Coach, kind of piggybacking off of that, their quarterback, Richard Latimer, obviously can be pressured into making some mistakes there, but he can also make some pretty big plays. How do you game plan for somebody that's kind of inconsistent like that?
Oh, I guess we just have to be sound in what we do. And you don't want to underestimate anybody or say that what he can't do, because he might come in here and turn it out. So we're going to prepare for him like we about to face Michael Vick or John Elway. It doesn't matter. We have to be disciplined and we have to be sound. So again, it's not about who we're playing, it's about us. And as long as we do what we're supposed to do, I think we'll be just fine.
And if I could just follow up real quick, we're talking about a squad that just doesn't know when to give up either. I mean, the game they played against Central, they kept coming back. They kept coming back. It's like that person that you beat down, but no matter what, they keep coming back. What do you have to get you guys ready for a game like that? Because they're not going away.
You talking about Winston? We beat them down. They beat the crap out of us for 3 quarters last year. I mean, I just got finished watching the tape from last year again. We still haven't stopped them. So I don't know, I don't know about anybody beating anybody down. If anybody got beat down, it was us. And we were in desperation mode last year trying to pull that game out. So thank God we punched it in with, I think, about a minute and a half left. But we were losing the whole game. I think that was the only lead we had. No, I'm sorry, we were up 3-0. And then after that, that was the only lead that we had the rest of the game. So we better not take these guys lightly, or we're going to get our butts kicked.
I was talking about the game they just played against Central State there, but that answer was perfect. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Very perfect. Thank you, Coach.
It was a different Central. Up next, John Dell from Winston-Salem Journal. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, piggybacking off what JB asked earlier, how do you avoid that letdown factor? You've been coaching a while now. Is there something you say, or is it just by their actions in practice that you make sure they don't have a letdown?
I think it's the standard. In each room, we have a standard. Each room, whether it's running backs, receivers, tight ends, O-line, they have 3 things that are must. And, we're not going to deviate from that. So it's a certain way we're going to practice. It's a certain intensity that we're going to practice, during practice. Attention to details during the meetings. So it doesn't matter if we're playing Hillside High School or the New York Giants. We're going to prepare the same way, and the guys have to be locked in. But we're not going to deviate from our standard.
And what's your relationship with Coach Massey? I know he's a Central alum, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Massey, Central alum. He played on probably the second best secondary to come through Central. I'm not going to tell you who the first one was. But Massey and I, we're really good friends. Our families are very close as well. When I first got into Central as a player back in the mid-'90s, he took me under his wing, and he used to always come back and visit, from the NFL. And we were always our back end, even the alum, were very close. We remained friends, and we were on staff here together under Rod Broadway back in the mid-2000s. So we've known each other for 25 years, I guess, and we talk all the time.
He played without a face mask, though.
He can fold his helmet up and put it in his back pocket too. Right.
Chris Clark. Go ahead, Chris.
We're Ooh, it's comedy. I like this one, man. This is a lot different than what we normally get. I wanted to ask you about facing
That's
up.
because my sugar low, Chris. I haven't eaten lunch yet.
What?
And I got my family outside trying to get some lunch, man. So
Last question I'll ask you. It's about their wide receiver, RJ. Obviously, he can go for big yards. Is that somebody that you just let get his, or do you shade some help that way to try and stop that kind of a weapon, Coach?
we'll have some stuff in our game plan if we need to use it. I think that I like our back end. I think Brandon Codrington has been solid. They tried to go at him, last week with A&T's bigger receivers, and I thought he competed well. Juan Hudson, he's been solid, all throughout the year as well. And I'm coming out of spring. And then we have Romeo Stansel, I thought had an amazing game. The last 3 plays of the game, they winning him 3 plays in a row coming off the bench. And, he didn't even start this game, but he was defensive player of the game. And I love the way he competed. I thought the receiver came down with that, the 3rd down ball, but he fought to the end and got the ball out. So it's good to see guys competing back there. And I think we can handle those guys, one-on-one. If not, we will, provide those guys some help.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck. And a little disappointed there was no mayonnaise dunk after the game, but
or a trophy. I didn't get that either. We didn't get a trophy. I did get a nice Yeti though. They gave me a real nice Yeti cooler, and we got the dub. So as long as we got the dub, and I got, we got to walk out there with the win. That's all that counts.
All right. Next question is from Rob Connect. Go ahead, Rob.
There you go.
Rob, you're
Hey,
on
Coach.
mute.
There we go. Hey, Coach, just want to introduce myself. I'm going to be doing play-by-play for the game and for all the games here this season. So I want to introduce myself. Looking forward to covering you guys. I know just talking with you guys here for the last few minutes, talking about, not going away from your game plan for this week, but I'm kind of interested to know individually if you could point out some players who impressed you in your opening win last week, and then maybe some guys that you're looking to step up here this week against Winston-Salem.
Well, I've seen these guys for a while, so I kind of have expectations and know what guys are able of doing. But I think one guy that really surprised me was Jaden Flaker, freshman, linebacker. He had the big block punt, had a couple of big tackles on special teams. He was one guy that really stood out, and that block punt was huge. That changed the game, the momentum of the game. But I think Zai Simpson is an offensive lineman that we brought in. We knew he was talented, but he's really come in and add some more physicality to our offensive line. Our tight end core is relatively young, but Kyle Morgan still had a good game. And yeah, that's about it. But I was pleased with the guys' overall performance. Lord, Pee Wee, who's my tight end? Pee Wee. Excuse me. Luke Bracey. Right, I had a senior moment, guys. I'm so sorry. Luke Bracey. He came in and provided quality reps at tight end position. And he's phenomenal. He's so athletic, big guy, and he's definitely going to be one of the better tight ends to come through North Carolina Central.
Go ahead, John Dale.
Yeah, you were talking about players, and that reminded me, Max Duran, redshirt freshman linebackers from Mount Tabor here in Winston-Salem. I think he had 5 tackles. What's been his progression like? He redshirted last year, and seems like he's going to be playing a little bit more this year. Right.
Max came in as a walk-on. He ended up earning a scholarship. He's in the rotation. We play quite a few linebackers back there. So he has a great feel of the defense, and he's really pretty much the quarterback of the defense. So he's come a long way since his freshman year. And, it's a testament to the coaching staff and what they've done, as well as our strength coach, because he's really changed his body. And he had a solid game as well.
Coach, coming up next, we have quarterback Davius Richard. Can you talk about him and his performance on Saturday and just overall what he means to the program?
That guy's special, and I can't say enough about him. You always talk about all the coaches talk and all this stuff, but I mean, great person. Obviously, he is who he is on film, and can throw the football, is athletic and all that stuff. But is a great person off the field. Is very involved in the community with community service activities. over 3.5 GPA. He's an all-around great person. But on the field, I think that the one thing I'm so pleased with is his decision-making as far as taking care of the football. You know, a lot of guys will get locked in on a receiver or a favorite target or in a concept, regardless of what they get, they want to throw the ball deep. But he goes through his progression and he takes what the defense gives him, whether it's the deep ball or the check down to the running back or the third progression wide receiver. So, and you look at the stats, I think we had about 8 different guys that had receptions. So we're not just locking in on person. And I think, you know, Coach Leone's done an outstanding job with having him prepared with that. But not forcing the ball and just taking what the defense gives you. Everything's, you know, covered. You know, he can hurt you with his feet as well. But I was really pleased. I thought that we had a game plan for him to run the ball. I thought there were some things that we could really take advantage of this past weekend. But, you know, we didn't want to run him too much. But I think the couple times we called his number on design running plays, he picked up quite a few positive yards.